I joined the U.S. Army in 1999. I was an infantry and airborne paratrooper. In 2003, I was deployed to Iraq, got shot in the arm, the chest, and blown up a couple times. I'm a Silver Star and Purple Heart recipient. The Army made an action figure out of me, put me in a video game, and I would tour the country telling my story. And then in 2007, I was recognized by President Bush in the State of the Union address. And, I started to believe the hype, a hero. I knew that I had emotional and mental wounds that weren't addressed. I started to abuse alcohol pretty heavily, and I destroyed my marriage. I always just thought about the damage that I've done to my kids. I thought, I am the problem. If you remove me, problem solved. And so I grabbed my rifle and I put it in my mouth, and I put that selector switch from safe to semi, semi to safe. And I repeated that a dozen times. Knowing what I know now, being a hero is making those tough decisions that aren't gonna screw up your family. If I thought I was screwing up and damaging my kids' lives, it doesn't even compare to the lifelong trauma of them dealing with suicide.
It doesn't matter if you were in combat or not. When society doesn't provide that sense of belonging that everyone innately needs, it's very difficult to find your purpose in life and say, well, I can get through the hard time today because tomorrow will matter.
When you're in the military, each day is planned out. Your food is made for you. Your housing is provided. All your needs are there. But when you leave the military, that's all gone. You don't have the comrades around you. You don't have that support system. And I think those stressors, they can take a toll on you.
What we know about the veterans and military families that we serve is they're complex, unique individuals that have different needs at different times, and those change over time. Their housing needs, their healthcare needs, their employment needs. There's no single organization that can meet those needs throughout their lifetime. Mission85 is an initiative of communities across the 3 states of North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia that are working together to prevent veteran suicide and better serve the veterans in our communities.
There's 3 key organizations: Veterans Bridge Home in Charlotte, Upstate Warrior Solution covers the upstate of South Carolina, and then the Warrior Alliance is in the Atlanta metro area. So those 3 groups have come together here at this retreat to think through the future of veteran care here in the country.
West Creek Ranch was designed to use this environment to let down all those barriers that keep us from collaboration. And I can see from this group, just from the first night, that we build immediate trust.
When we were looking at who needed to be here, it really had to be the communities that do the day-to-day work, the states that have to support it and the policies behind it, and then finally is the federal level. And so if you talk about mental health and you talk about suicide, it's going to take all of them in order to battle this.
We can't rely on just our VA services. We can't rely on just our for-profit or not-for-profit healthcare organizations. So really the coordination and the addressing across the continuum of care is really the most important part.
It was the relationships that we had formed here at West Creek that allowed us to pick up the phone and, hey, this doesn't make any sense to me. Give me your take on that. This accelerated us leaps and bounds.
What we're trying to do here and what we want to walk away with is an understanding and respect, but most importantly, trust. And if we build that trust, we set that accountability, then the future looks great for our ability to really make a difference.
We really need this to work for the future of our veterans, but we also hope that other folks in other parts of the country have kind of a light bulb moment to say, we know it needs to be this government and community approach. We may not have realized how to do that, but now we're seeing this operationalized in the Southeast.
It's not a lack of kindness and goodness in the world. What I ran into was a lack of coordination. Coming out here at West Creek, being with all of these different providers, What we're seeing in this work today is that coordinated care being integrated into the community and not just one entity at a time. If you focus on the veteran and their entire family, and you feel like you have a purpose, you feel connected to the community, and you feel like you can call somebody at any moment, we're all better people for it.